Hey, welcome back to Alternative Smallholding. Stop peeking at me, bearded dude. I'm hoping the rain stays off long enough for me to film this tour for you. I've just filmed another video about tomatoes that I'm growing this year, so you may see this before or after that, depending on how the weather is. So we are actually at the very top of our plot today. We're starting the tour here. This bit doesn't look much different, but we do have new compost bays over here being built, and this at the moment is all the things that we're using for some of the projects that we've got going. If I turn you around, we've got a new greenhouse. Well, it's not a new greenhouse, is it, Dave? No. It's our old wooden greenhouse. You look decapitated there. I'll come round inside, but it's our old wooden greenhouse that we said we was just going to get rid of, but we decided because we haven't got a polytunnel this year, we really needed to try and get it together. Are we allowed in?
Yes.
Yeah? And Bearded Dude has done a fantastic job at doing that. So he's gone round, he's repaired all the wood, he's braced everything. If you can see these windows, it really needs a good clean down. And then he's replaced, this is quite loose, but he's replacing any bits of glass that he can with polycarb that was from an old greenhouse that we had that just blew down a while ago. And then what we can't fill with polycarb, we will, sorry, I just think I just tried to call someone on the phone. We'll cover it with the plastic sheeting. But this is a 10 by 8, is it? 10 by 8 foot greenhouse, an Alton greenhouse that we got for free, and I'm really chuffed to have it up. Oh, you've put plastic on the other end already? Yeah, he's already put, so that's the plastic sheeting. So this is the plastic sheeting. You ran out of staples. So when we've got more staples, it'll be a bit more tauter. But yeah, I'm really pleased to have this. One thing that I'm doing in here is, this is like a, how do you say it, dude? Hugelkultur, whatever it is, style raised bed. Now, I took this idea from Hugh Richards' new book, like Grey Food for Free, and I have filled it up with branches and whatnot. I've got a good layer of those on the bottom. Then I'm putting grass clippings on. Then I'll put some of that soil improver, and then I'll do a top layer of compost. Now, the reason for doing this is because I wanted this greenhouse to have some space where I can grow things over winter. So this will be like a winter salad bed or a winter beetroot and things like that bed. Gosh, I do look red. I've got massive sunburn, I'm sorry. So that's the idea behind that bed, just have a little raised bed in here as an experiment to see if it works. We've got a trellis at the end to grow things up, such as cucumbers, and then all around in here this is going to be predominantly cucumbers, I think, with maybe a couple of tomatoes that I just really want to isolate because they're extra rare or extra special. But we've got the greenhouse up, finally. Now down here where Bearded Dude is working to cut the plastic sheets, you've got the raised bed. Where this is going to be brassicas, which we really need to get going because we've got brassicas that need to go in the ground. You'll see them in a bit. And then this will be another brassica bed here. This is how dry our soil is looking. So we really need to get that soil improver down on this as soon as possible because it looks terrible. This area is in front of the greenhouse. So you've got the greenhouse, the brassica beds, the carrot bed. Have a little seating area there, ruse area, shed, compost bays, and then in the middle there, that is where all the raspberry beds were supposed to go, but we didn't get around to it. This bean frame was at the end of these carrot beds, but we're going to put it here, so we've got another visual like tool thing when we're looking at the bottom of the plot. But this path that we have used to be there, and then we used to have another narrow bed and then the path. But what I've done is I've moved this path from here over to there, and that will give us a wider bed, but the problem we've got is that pathway was there for quite a few years, and therefore the ground is really compact and it's got no real nutrients or anything in. So what I want to do is I'm going to actually dig it or rotivate it even. There's no life in it, it's too compact, it needs sorting out. So we'll soak it with water, a good soak, cover it up, and then tease it out with a fork, and then depending on what the quality is like, we may rotivate in some of our soil improver that we've got from Earth Cycle. But what it means now is instead of having 2 narrow beds there, we've got like a double width bed, and we'll have our bean frame here outside of our greenhouse. That's going to be cool. This still needs to be taken out. We're using that soil and sieving it to put in the carrot bed. We're using what I call my whirligig. This is my whirligig. I don't know why I say it in that voice, but there you go. Which basically, you turn around, if you can get in properly, and fine, lovely soil comes out the bottom. So I've got all that to do, which I'm not really looking forward to, but it needs to be done. So yeah, garlic. Now I'm really pleased with these. These are our garlic. Don't they look gorgeous? There's some really good thick stems going on in here too, that I'm really excited about. Now what I've done with this garlic is I've given it a good mulch with fresh grass clippings. The beardy dude mowed about 1/3 of the pathway of the allotments yesterday, and then I applied that straight onto around the garlic. If you're using a mulch, by the way, you need to water the ground first, because the idea of a mulch is it holds in water. So water the ground first, then put your mulch material on top, such as leaves, compost, grass, newspaper, rhubarb leaves, whatever you've got, and then water that again, and that will hold the moisture in. Look, the darn cats, honestly. So at the end of this garlic bed, I put in this. This was just a weedy area that we never did anything with. It was just, it's never done anything, has it? So I weeded it. If you can just see here underneath, I've put a layer of rhubarb leaves, and then I put compost on the top. And the cats obviously think that it's their personal litter tray, so I'm gonna have to sort that out. Now, our rhubarb is looking really sickly. I wanted to ask your opinion on something. Traditionally, this is a fantastic rhubarb, really thick stems, really long stems, like produces profusely. But we found an ant's nest in there. And it seems that they'd weakened it because it was all just flopping over, and we thought, what's wrong with that? It doesn't look healthy, and now the stems aren't looking good at all. See, everything's coming out really thin. And you can see how much stuff's just flopped down. I've removed a lot of the dead leaves, but it's all just flat. It is a shadow of the plant it once was, but never mind. What is this hosepipe doing here? Anyway, as I climb over this, he likes to make things difficult for me. So, raspberry bed or fruit bed, raspberry bed there. So these were supposed to be moved over winter, and we were going to have the raspberry beds at the top, which is what everyone else on this site has got, and then I was going to use these as other beds that could be used for vegetables rather than perennial fruit. But with it raining so much over winter, we didn't get around to it. Now they're growing and going to go into fruit soon, so it's too late to do it. The problem we've got with them is they are really, really weedy. Look at this. There's a new growth for the raspberries. Ouchies! Some of them are the spiky ones. New raspberry growth coming up, as well as a bramble that's going through it, and all sorts of weeds. But it's just a pain. It's not something that I can easily dig out or remove anything. But like I said, the raspberries are going into flower now, so it's not really the right time to move them. But I would love to just rip all this out. The thing is, we don't actually eat that many raspberries. We're not even that big a fan of raspberries. If anything, we just have them for smoothies, but then because of their seeds, it's a bit lumpy. So, I don't know. I might take just like one of the beds, just take it out. We'll see. Might not. May do. The herb bed, though, is looking lovely. So we've got our St John's wort doing really well, and the rosemary, tansy. The centura has fallen outwards. I think it's just an old plant, so I'm going to strap that up so it stands up better. Horehound, I think it is, doing okay. Now this mint was really interesting. It's a variegated mint. When it first came through, oh, I'm falling. The leaves were like really bright pink. It was so pretty, and a couple of my friends said like, I need that variety of mint, but it's gone back to white. So it's kind of disappointed, but at the start of the season that flash of pink in the garden was really, really pretty. And there's all sorts going on. This oregano's really come on this year, which is great. I've been really picking it as well to feed to the chickens because it's a really good natural antibiotic for them. But it's done really well. I need to put some water in the insect bath. So yeah, herb bed looking okay. One thing I will say is you will notice a lot of dandelions as we go around here. We're taking off the seed heads if they go to seed, but other than that they are for the bees and also for us to make wine and dandelion syrup with. So we're keeping them in check, but and use the leaves in salads. Keeping them in check, but they are not totally unwanted, so don't worry about them. Onion bed. So this is going to have some onion sets and then leeks, and there'll probably be a bit of space at the end to have, say, some excess tomatoes and that in there. But I actually weeded some of the onion bed, guys, and we have 3 rows of the seed onions that I started on Boxing Day, was it? Can you see them? There is 3 rows of onions in there that are doing just great. So we finally have some onions in the onion bed, and this netting, this Enviromesh, will actually spread like most of the way up this bed, so it'll fit everything in, hopefully. It's doing a really good job. Last year we had great onions we've used on this, so fingers crossed we get the same again. So I think we're about halfway down this plot now. The red currant bush is looking good. I gave this a really good prune over winter, and it has definitely responded to it well. It's gone more upright because it had a lot of falling down branches, and it seems to be fruiting quite heavily. It's got a lot of new growth on it. So, oh look, I've just spotted these. The first red currants of the year. Woohoo! Exciting times. Oh, there's lots. There really is lots. Look. Oh, yum yum. I cannot wait. I will have to net it, unfortunately. Once those fruits start to turn, the pigeons from those trees, they take everything. They just land on the top and eat it all. Now, I have no problem with the birds taking what they want, but I just want some kind of harvest from it first. If I can make like 1 jar of red currant jelly, I'll be happy. And then I'll take the net off and they can have what they like. I do believe in sharing, but I want some of them because they're my favourite fruit. Next to the currant bush, we've got a big, well, we've got a patch of grass coming back. We've got this big perennial kind of sunflower that's gone in there. This is where the currant bushes were. So this, from this currant bush all the way over to the apple trees, you couldn't actually walk through. So we've taken out 3 currant bushes there that were black currant and we didn't like them. We've put in a slab here, so this will be our pathway. So this pathway actually joins up with the pathway that's going down there. And then next to our beautiful apple tree, we've put in a little pond. So this is a Belfast sink that we had on our little plot that was doing nothing, and I had this space that's under the apple tree and I wanted to use it. I'm going to plant some flowers around the outside, so wildflowers and trailing nasturtiums and that, but I wanted to put that there. So that's pond number 2 that's on our plot. And when we moved it, it had these lovely little forget-me-nots sticking out of this end. I'm really glad we managed to move it without damaging those. They're ever so pretty, aren't they? And it's got rocks in just in case anyone's worrying, so the animals can get out if they need to. And everything that we've done with the apple tree is I'm really trying to focus more on things like food forests and permaculture principles. This year I am actually doing a course when I can find the time because everything's really crazy at the moment. But this apple tree used to have just weed membrane underneath it, and it was always kept clean. Before we had it, it was like always swept. We took the weed membrane up, and underneath the soil was just dead. There was no worms, there was nothing in it. You know, it's had no nutrients fall down. And underneath a tree, the deciduous tree that loses its leaves, there should be that natural cycle of the leaves fall down and feed the earth, and then the worms bring it down, and it's a cycle. But there was nothing because there was weed membrane underneath it. So we took that up and then we did this. So all around the apple tree, we cased in with bricks, and then this is the leaf mould that we made last year, which hasn't completely rotted down, and there's lots of little sticks in it, which I am not worried about at all. But what we've done is we have covered the whole of this area around the 2 trees with leaf mould that will hopefully feed the trees a little bit better and just keep the soil a bit more nutritious, because there's these poor little trees. And you actually seem to have responded to it quite well, because the blossoms on this are amazing. I don't know if you can see. We're going to have some good apples this year. So you may notice that I've also put a comfrey plant in here, and that is purposeful. Comfrey and apple trees make great companions. Comfrey sends down these massive roots into the ground, and they suck up all the nutrients. Those nutrients come out into the leaves, those leaves die back and feed the plant, the apple tree. So it's a gorgeous little system that's going. Apple trees really love comfrey, comfrey loves apple trees. That's planted under there. It will help suppress some weeds when it gets big, because it will get big. And once the apple blossom's gone, we'll have comfrey blossom. So I've planted that in there as an apple tree companion. Oh, while I'm doing this, I just wanted to say hello to somebody. Hi to Yasmin B. I won't see her last name. I was having a lovely little chat with you early on today, and I just thought I'd give you a shout out in the video. So, hi. Right, that's where am I? Here, sorry, this is where the bean arch is, and we'll be going back, and all of this from there all the way to the apple tree is tomatoes for next year. This is going to be the squash bed. Now, I've hoed off the annual weeds, but as you can see, there are some dandelions in here that I will actually be taking out. Aren't they beautiful? Such an underrated plant. That I will be taking out, and then I'll be dressing that soil with some of our chicken manure from last year and getting that going ready for squash. I will say we are growing a lot more squash this year, but then I think we're growing a lot more of like everything. This whole plot is going to be absolutely jam-packed. Yeah, it's proving a bit busy with our community food project. We've grown flowers for my friend's wedding, which fingers crossed is still going to take place, and we're growing more food for ourselves, and just everything. It's hard work. Oh, and I'm also sewing loads for the NHS as well, and home educating, and I've got the bearded dude at home who's working from home. So it's full go at the moment. I'm feeling well, in case you were wondering. I just thought I'd mention. I'm feeling well, I'm feeling good, and now is the perfect time to just crack on and do it all. So yeah. So after that little waffle, I'll show you the broad beans. Ta-da-da! Now these are our broad beans. We saved the seeds last year and we planted them, and they're doing great. And the flowers are just beautiful. And if you have broad bean flowers, stick your nose in there because they smell gorgeous. I'm trying to find something to show you. Where is it? Where are you hiding? Look, can you see this? Look, we have broad beans. We got baby, but there, we've got baby broad beans. Good gosh, I do get kind of tongue-tied, don't I? So some of them are like curling and falling over, but they're doing fine. I'm not going to worry about them. And I think I said this last year, but just in case, if your broad bean leaves have these kind of divots in them around the edge, that's just like a leaf cutter beetle. They do no damage to your plant. In fact, I think they all make it look rather pretty and cool. I love them. So don't worry about them if you get that. Now this is one of my favourite new things. Not the bearded dude, he's my favourite old thing. This is what I call my cathedral frame. So I had one of these a good few years ago when we had our other big plot, and it's basically the row of canes, then you do the arch that comes up in the middle. It holds it really sturdy, and then some struts across the top. And it's worked really well. I'm really pleased with it. It took about 10 minutes to put up. Well, no, that's a lie. It took about an hour. But yeah, I love it. Now, I am going to do another one of these for some beans. This is a pea frame. It's covered in pea netting on both sides. But I'm going to be doing it for growing beans as well. So I'll actually show you how I made it. Really simple and really well and sturdy. So in here, I don't have anything growing on this side yet. But down here, I have Lord Leicester tall peas. Some of them just will not grow upwards. They're driving me nuts. But these ones are off. They're doing really well. I'll tuck them in a bit. So that's Lord Leicester tall pea. I got that from Real Seeds, and it is a variety of pea that apparently grows up to like 7 foot tall. And it keeps flowering. It starts early flowering and then it'll keep flowering until the frost. So 1, it's tall, so I'll get some peas, and 2, it flowers all season. Well, just in case it doesn't work that way, or we just want more peas, down that side of the frame, once these peas start to flower, I'll do a second sowing of peas all down that side. But I start them off in my paper pots first, because the mice just eat them straight out of the ground if we plant direct. So next to the pea frame, we have this bed. This is our sweet corn bed, and there'll be squash underneath it, obviously. That's been covered with manure that we put down in October, I think. And no weeds have come up in there, like not a single one. We didn't dig it, we didn't do anything, so that to me is a win for no dig. It's looking good, I'm pleased with it. I'm sorry if this video is really long, by the way, but we've got lots to show you. Down here is a little garden area, just old chimney pipes. This has got chives in, this has got some cornflowers. These need filling in, but when these daffodils were out, it was ever so pretty. So a plant that my neighbour gave me. This is going to be edged with stones, that's lovely. Around here, the potting bench and everything that was over there has gone. That's gone back home for me to work there. We need to clear it all up down here. I was going to remove this pond, but then I thought I've got a big hole to fill in, and actually the frogs love it. It needs topping up though, it's definitely evaporated. All this is coming up. These beds are coming out. We started taking them off, so you know, the front sides have gone already. And then because this is fenced in now, we'll have a little fence on that side, so this is going to be like the social area, the potting on area, they're just getting stuff done while sitting down and having a beverage area. But it's coming on okay, you know, it's not perfect, but we've been concentrating on other jobs that needed doing first. But this it'll be good. And we picked up these chairs, someone left these wooden chairs by the compost bay. So there we go, we got those for free. I'll show you some of the plants and then we're going over to the little plot, because I've got something I want to show you over there. These are our currant cuttings from last year, and as you can see, oh, they've got baby currants. Can you see how tiny they are? How sweet are they? So these are the currant cuttings I took last year. This is a whole load of chard. That's something I need a lot more of this year is chard, so this is a whole load of them. We've got loads of different varieties of nasturtium. So this one is Bloody Mary. This one is, where is it? Milkmaid. So that's like a really pale yellow white colour. That one is pink and white variety. You've got some lettuces to put out. Leeks are doing well. There's some serenity over there. This has been my sacrificial tomato. This has been outside with no protection for about a week, and in that time it had no flowers, and now it's got flowers coming. Can you see? This tray of mixed lettuces looks gorgeous. Can you see how pretty that is? That gorgeous dark red colour. I'm loving these. And somehow we seem to have a rogue patchoy in here. I don't know where you came from, little man, but I'm going to let you get bigger and then I'm going to eat you. So there you go. Next to this fence here, we've just got this little white unit. We've got a tray of coriander, some spring onions that need planting. This is a currant cutting that I took 2 years ago, so this is going to be planted this year. And we did have radish in here, but they bolted. We had loads of them, but these were white icicle and most of them bolted. So, oops, I planted new ones and the mouse had some of them. So I'll be starting radish seeds at home. These are my luscious, luscious kale. Can you look at them? How gorgeous are they? This is why I'm saying the brassica bed really needs to be sorted out, because the kale really want to be planted. So I need to get those in ASAP. Some pretty flower pots out here. And then there's the tomato jungle. And more down there. And in the middle too. Now I'm not going to go into too much detail about all of my beautiful tomatoes because I've just done, like I said, it was raining heavily and I thought I wasn't going to be able to do my tour, so I did a video about what tomatoes I'm growing this year, so that will either be before or after this video. So if you're interested in tomatoes and why I'm growing about maybe over 200 heirloom open pollinated tomatoes, and when I sown them to get them into this kind of size already, then tune in to our next video. Nothing much happening in the flower bed yet, that's had a mulch. And this light's really funny now, isn't it? We've got this kind of stormy overcast look. Bearded Dude is clearing out the compost bay so that we can get that sorted. I'm going to show you the baby plot last, so we're going to turn away from that because there's something I want to show you. So we're just walking down here to show you something new. This isn't my plot, but this is my borrowed greenhouse. So in here we have another selection of tomatoes. Now I actually run through which ones I'm growing in here in that tomato video, but so I'm not going to do that again. But my plot neighbour has given me access to do that so that I can grow more food for people, which is absolutely wonderful, and it's just like just across the way from ours. So yeah, and also it says I can have any rhubarb I want. Look at this. Look at all this rhubarb, isn't it gorgeous? Hey you. And there's another big one there too. I see rhubarb wine in my future. Okay, baby plot, or a half plot, whichever you want to call it. Now down the bottom, that is where we're having to, like, when we're finding rotten wood, we're taking things apart, things break, there's some glass from the greenhouse, things like that. We're just having to put them there, and what I want to do is I want to enclose that with some trellis, so one, it doesn't look so ugly, and two, it's like no one's going to accidentally fall on it or anything, because it's quite dangerous. We want to get rid of everything, but all the landfill, like tip sites, recycling sites, everything are closed right now because of lockdown. So it's just going to have to stay there for a little bit. Or we have the option of booking a skip, which I think I might inquire about this week because there's some things that we've done at home as well that need to be disposed of. So, don't know. But either way, that won't be there for long. The flower bed, if you remember, I did in a video I did not long ago, if you remember, this was actually covered in dandelions, and Bearded Dude has gone through and dug out, I'd say, like 98% of them. He's a star. And we wanted to get that ready because planting for our cut flower patch for my friend's wedding, I will link the playlist for that down below. That is going to start in a couple of weeks, well, probably 3 weeks. But the ground is rock solid. Let me show you how bad it is. It's terrible, isn't it? Is there an ant nest? Yeah. Oh, over there. Okay. So this is, it's this. There's nothing to it, and it's rock solid, isn't it, girl? It's like a deserty, solidy thing. Yeah. It's horrible.
No, it's fine for me.
It's fine for you. We need to get that levelled out, but there's no way we're going to do that at the moment without breaking our own backs. This week we are due absolutely loads of rain, so hopefully by the end of that, that ground will be softened. You've got a red stone?
Yeah, red stone.
That's pretty. So by the end of this week, I'm really hoping that we will have softer ground and we'll be able to get on with some work. So this is our little pond. Now we started digging this out, what? 3 years ago, like she said. And I never got a chance to finish it, or I never got around to finish it, shall we say. Last week I dug the hole out better.
It's a little wishing well, I can use this.
It's a little wishing well, is it?
I'll use this coin. I wish.
Oh, little bugs. Bugs running around. So what I've done is I've dug it out. I've made it on a slant, if you can see. So there's a deep end, and then at the shallow end it's piled with bricks or stones, so that little bugs can get out. And I've lined it with bricks. And then what I want to do is fill it in with all these little stones so the little bugs and spiders and things can hide under there and have it as a little wildlife area, because this whole area, oh gosh, if I stand back, this is going to be like a fenced-in wildlife area.
Yeah, we can grow all the things.
Grow all the things. And I'm going to weed it. I'm going to weed it, but I'm not going to tame it too much because, you know, it's supposed to be a wildlife area. That's kind of the point. I'm looking forward to encouraging more wildlife in there. I want a lovely arbour, like a natural wooden one, not like really rigid like squares. I want kind of a archway but made out of like nice wood, like wooden branches all weaved together or something, which I'm never going to get around to doing, let's be honest, but I would like that. So yeah. So the comfrey is coming back. That looks great. And then our last project, well, it's not our last project, we've done lots of other things as well, but another project that we've done is this, which is our new blueberry bed. So I had my blueberries in pots and I was concerned that they wasn't getting enough nutrients and they were drying out a little bit. So I had this raised bed, and then what I did is I made this kind of middle section with some bricks there lying piled up inside, and then I filled that with leaf mould, and which is ericaceous, which is what the blueberries need, and I added a bit of ericaceous compost in there too, planted them, and they are coming on lovely. This one strip should have pruned that, I think, and we have blueberry flowers. Woohoo! At the back I put this trellis in, and I've planted sweet peas along there, which are looking really good, and there are some calendula planted down inside with some deglaciol or poached eggplant. So, and then at the front on this side we've got lots of cornflower and more of the poached eggplant. So it's like a 3-section bed really. So we'll have the sweet peas climbing at the back, and then lovely blues and yellows and oranges in the bottom, which is quite clashy and garish, but I don't care. I like colour, I like prettification, and that's what we're having. So this has probably been the longest tour that I've ever filmed, and I'm sorry about that, but we haven't done a film tour at all this year, have we? So it's taken a bit longer. What? Hello, little ones. Hey, baby froggies. Oh, we can't move it, dude. It's their house. Dude, we'll have to leave it there for a bit. Careful not to squish them. So, yes. Long tour, first tour of the year. Glad that we could show you around. Yeah, say bye. Wait, come on. A family goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, careful.
So this is one for you and one for the family.
Oh, how sweet. I hope you like your little buttercup from Rue, and we will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.